now I'm sitting here. We're going to talk about something very exciting. We're going to talk about light, something that we all desperately need, but something that until recently we didn't know that much about. As you just saw in this little clip, it was a preview of something that actually launched only 2 days ago.
Correct.
And I'm here now with Niclas Olsson, CEO of Brainlit.
Thank you.
Welcome. Why is light so important?
Well, it's actually, the light is not the problem, it's the way we live today, that we are not designed to spend pretty much all of our time indoors. Going back 10,000 generations, we were walking around outdoors pretty much the whole time we are awake. And today that has shifted for us to spend pretty much more than 90% of our time indoor, shielded from the natural light, and that has affected us greatly from a health point of view.
And Brainlit wants to tackle this problem somehow. Tell us how you do that.
Well, if you look into our human biology, approximately 20% of our genome is light dependent. It means that we need for our 5,000 of our genomes needs light to be coordinated for us to stay healthy. And we invented a system to replicate the natural light. If we cannot spend more time outdoors, our thoughts were, can we move the natural light indoors and create a healthy environment that makes us all more productive, energetic, actually smarter as well. We become smarter being outdoors, and that is what we are addressing with our technology.
So basically getting the daylight indoors.
That is the core.
Talk to me about some of these benefits, the practical benefits of daylight.
Well, we have in our eyes a cell called iPRGC cells that sends the signals to the brain when to produce melatonin and cortisol, when to be awake and when to sleep. And practically you can say that we see in most of our installations that people become healthier. We normally see a reduction of sick absence of 30 to 50%. People becomes more productive, more creative. We do well in natural light, even if it's machine-made natural light, so to speak. We define ourselves as being an organization that builds sustainable environments for people to become more productive in a sense, in a more healthy state of mind and from a physiology point of view.
When we talked about this before, you've mentioned the issue of sleep as one of the core issues when it comes to light. How do they correlate? Why is light so important for your sleep?
Sleep is when our brain is reshuffling information. It's when our cells are repairing themselves. If we go back only 20 years back in time, in the beginning of year 2000, we were sleeping much more than we are doing today, only 20 years later. Today, the average sleep is around 6 hours. If you look globally, at that time, it was closer to 8 hours. And it's a great correlation between sleep and the health status. And fortunately, sleep is very easy to measure. So we're using in our system sleep as the marker for when you have absorbed enough or the light you need to be in a healthy state of mind. So we are using different sensors to measure how well you sleep, how long you sleep, and then we are using our algorithms to control the light to help you to sleep longer, deeper, become actually as good as you can be.
You mentioned one example when we talked before, which I thought was so funny, is that people often talk about when they're on vacation, they sleep so well. And you had a different theory about why that was.
Yeah, there is a misunderstanding that just because you relax, you sleep well. I think for being a father of children, I would say that vacations are sometimes more stressful than work. And it's more related that we tend to spend more time outdoors during vacations and weekends. And that helps us to get our hormonal curves swinging in the way it should be swinging. So we sleep deeper when we sleep.
So because of light, because of perhaps golfing or surfing or something like that, hanging out at the beach.
Correct.
You have this term that you always come back to, which is biocentric lighting. Shall we unpack that a little bit? What does biocentric lighting mean?
Biocentric means that we put the individual in the center of the challenge. That we need, everyone is unique. Every human being is unique in their need of a particular light. We think that the light affects us all in the same way. It doesn't. We are unique in our age, in our ethnicity, in our gender, in our state of our eyes. You have glasses, I don't, etc., etc. So we need a tailor-made light to optimize our individual performance. So we are using then sensors to measure the impact. We could use a smartwatch or a Fitbit or an Oura ring, or any sensor can be used for us to measure how a specific light is affecting you at a specific moment. Then we have an AI-based cloud, in our cloud solution, we have an AI-based control system that analyze that data and send it back to the light system to project just the kind of light that makes you better in all aspects.
It all sounds very advanced for something that's essentially a lamp. How do you define your product? Is it a lamp or is it something else?
We are working with a system. We could compare it with a music system. A lamp is just like the loudspeaker. What we do, we produce the music, we produce the amplifier, the sensors that makes the music to be perfect in any given environment. So a lamp for us is I would say on the lower tech space. We are more into the controlling side, the AI side, how to design the perfect music for each individual in terms of light waves instead of sound waves.
I think that's interesting. I think that the likening to a sound system, I think it perhaps also opens up different price points and different ways of thinking about your light system, so to speak.
Yeah.
How have you worked so far in terms of your products? And I know you only a couple of days ago you launched a new one. So
I mean, we have historically been more of a system provider. Our systems are used in healthcare settings, in offices, in 911 centers, in schools, and you actually become smarter working in natural light. We don't claim that we do anything else that the sun would do. If you would move out education outdoors, the students would become smarter. And we actually had a study with the Danish Technology University in Copenhagen, and they measured an 11.8% cognitive improvement just by studying in the right light.
wow.
But we also think it's super important to look in the area of sustainability in a wider perspective. For example, in the fashion industry, there is a huge need, I think, to improve the color rendering in general. That a lot of returns of goods comes because the consumers think it's not the right color as they thought it would be, either in the store or when they're buying it on the over internet. And with our technology replicating the natural light, you will actually see the garments, the clothes in the same kind of color scheme as you would do under the sun.
So it's almost like you're calibrating reality. When you come home, open your suit or sweater or whatever it is, you'll see
it will look like how it will look like outdoors, but indoors.
Right.
And we hope that can contribute in reducing the levels of return of clothes. So actually, in US, there is huge interest for our technology in retail. How can we improve not only the human focused health, but also how can we improve the color rendering index to present the products in a more accurate way?
There are so many sort of wow effects that come to light when I hear you talk about light. And one question that comes to mind is why aren't we talking more about this?
This is new science, and most architects, light consultants, specialists are educated before the year of 2000. This science has formally exploded after the year of 2000. So we normally say that our biggest competitor is the lack of knowledge.
Right.
That too many organizations don't really understand the impact light has on us as individuals.
So what happened after 2000? What's been the development the past 20 years?
Well,
Let's go into that.
I would say the first major transformation was that we could start to produce accurate white light with blue LEDs, and that was rewarded a Nobel Prize in 2014. Then we had the Nobel Prize 2017 in regards to the understanding of how our cell clocks are coordinated by working on your circadian rhythm and stimulating that with light. So this is very new science, and thank you so much for inviting us to this event to spread the message. We see ourselves as being on a mission to improve life with biocentric light, and this is a great opportunity for us to speak to a very influential audience.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I think so, and I hope the people at home feel the same way. Thanks for complimenting them. So, when I looked at your product before, it's been installed in, as you mentioned, the SOS centers, some changing rooms for hockey players and so forth. But I know you recently launched a new product as well that's not just fixing the ceiling. So talk to me about that. What is that?
Well, based on requests from users of our technology, they have said that this is I feel so great at work. Can you help me to feel as great as at home?
Right.
And also we had comments from smaller companies. I don't want to invest in a huge system. I would like to have this kind of technology in my smaller office or in my home office. So we decided to miniaturize our technology and put all the sensors, control systems in a floor standing solution. Right. So it's a microsystem that brings health to an individual in a specific setting.
Exciting stuff. So what are your hopes? What's the next step for Brainlit in putting this out? You mentioned knowledge being your biggest competitor. What's the opportunities here?
We hope to build an awareness that there is a huge opportunity to build a more sustainable society. We are engaged in a project in Singapore with an organization that is looking into what if the world doesn't get better. How do we survive in indoors if we need light 6 to 8 hours a day, if we can't go outside of any reason? And it's I hope the reality will not turn that way, but I do think it's good that we are more prepared for the future than we have been until now. We can see during the current market situation that we are experiencing new challenges as we go, and I hope that we can be an change agent in bringing more light into people's life and have people to understand how important that is to stay healthy.
I love this idea of bringing about the knowledge of this, and obviously you work at a company, you have this product you want to sell and reach out there. But is there any ask or anything you would hope that the audience at home or people in general would know more about light in general?
I would rather have people to think about sleep.
Right.
How important the sleep is and the quality of sleep. I mean, people understand how important it is to take your car to service. It's important to clean your dishes after you have been eating, and there's nothing more important if you want to stay healthy, if you want to boost your immune system in these times, than ensuring that you sleep well for at least 6 to 8 hours. What our technology does is helping you to achieve those goals.
Niclas, thank you so much for coming to the Transformation Conference. I'll be happy talking to you more about this and following the journey and learning more about light and about sleep. So thank you so much.
Thank you.